Wow, good afternoon. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Tasha Cole. I'm Deputy Executive Director and Chief Diversity Officer for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. I'm glad I was able to, thank you. I know there's a lot of letters, a lot of acronyms. I always tend to work at places that have a lot of letters in it. That was such an important conversation. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And my good friend Karen Finney, if you all don't get a chance, make sure she's on all the TV shows, MSNBC, CNN, so be sure to check her out when you can. Today's final panel before our keynote conversation is about the power of black women in elected office. As we are all aware, there are no black women currently serving in the U.S. Senate, and the U.S. has never elected a black woman governor. So we can change that, though. At the same time, we know that there are record numbers of black women stepping forward to lead and run. When women run, they win. We are thrilled to welcome an amazing women who are working to ensure black women are represented at all of the tables of power. I also want to make a note that two of the congresswomen who are going to join us today, unfortunately, are not able to be here. Congresswoman Nikema Williams and Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. As you know, they're still important business in the halls of Congress. They wanted to be here, but they are not able to join us. But I'm excited to introduce our panel today. Nicole Austin-Hillery is President and CEO of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, which advances the black community through leadership development, informing public policy, and public education. Nicole has a long record of advocating for communities through her work at Human Rights Watch and the Brennan Center. Holly Holliday is going to join us today as well. She's one of the country's most important voices for black women's political leadership. As the president of Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote, she works at both the federal and state level against racism by expanding opportunities for black women and advancing black women in leadership. Moderating this discussion today is my sister as well, Michelle Jawando of Omadiyar, am I saying it right? Network. It's a fancy French name that she's going to explain when she gets up here. Before joining, Michelle was the head of U.S. Strategic Engagement and Public Policy Partnerships at Google and served as vice president at the Center for American Progress. Now, I have a relationship with so many women. We have so much intersection. But most importantly for me, I'm going to give a special shout out. I am so honored to introduce them because I think one of them is the newest member of what we like to call the Divine Nine. I think Nicole just became a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, I am told. I learned that from a special bird, and I will tell you how this sisterhood works. Michelle is also a member of that sorority, as well as Holly is, and I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, there you go. Thank you. So I think we have a lot of Divine Nine sisterhood happening as I celebrate 25 years in the sorority this year. And so I thought I wanted to add that because I think that just speaks volumes to how we are all connected on so many levels. I know that there are many of you out there who are also part of Zeta Phi Beta and Sigma Gamma Rho and all of the other ways that we are connected. So I'm excited to bring them up, and I think Congresswoman Nikema's chief of staff is joining us today, so I just had a chance to spend time with her as well. So with that, I'm going to ask them to come up and ask my good sister Michelle to come up and moderate this great discussion today.
Okay, so I am the daughter of an attorney and an AME preacher, so there's a lot of talk back in my home. So, hey, y'all. All right, here we go. So first off, I wish you could see this room from this vantage. It is, give yourselves a round of applause. It is a stunning and beautiful thing to look out and see the faces of your sisters. And I don't know everybody in the room, but I feel your sisterhood. And I feel the love that you're emitting. I want to thank All In Together and the CBCF and Higher Heights for creating this space. Because let's be honest, this is a tough moment and things feel a little unsure. And so when we create these spaces, I just like to take a moment to recognize the sacred beauty of a space like this. So give yourselves a round of applause. So we are going to jump right in. With the exception of Melanie, I have known Holly and Nicole probably close to 20 years of doing this work.
Before your children.
Before I had kids, and I have 4, y'all, almost 5 with my niece. So yeah, like I was single, I was out in DC in these DC streets, okay? So it's good when you have friends who knew you from way back. Okay? And one of the things that I love about Holly and Nicole is how deeply committed they are to this work. And so, Holly, I'm going to start with you because you are one of the leaders. There is weekly, y'all, we have a convening of sisters, of Black women from around the country. And we meet to strategize, and we meet to support each other. We meet to talk about campaigns and elected officials. And Holly is one of the lead co-conveners of that space. And Holly, I just love for you to just give us a little bit of how you're seeing Black elected women faring this election, and where are the places and the spots and the things that we should be paying attention to right now?
Well, first of all, it's rough out there, y'all. This is almost a blood sport. However, we're ready, and we are seeing, and I would caution you to always think about how powerful you are as one, and how powerful you are when you take what you have and share it with the amazing networks that each of us represent. I think that's the critical piece. And why is that critical? Because when we do that, when we show up and we share and we say this is what we believe in, and we invite people into that space, that's when we win. We win places where nobody thought we would win. Summer Lee out of Allegheny County. Nobody thought we were going to get through that primary. We have people running in high offices that nobody thought Black women existed. Thank you, Iowa. Thank you. We have a Black woman running for governor in Iowa. We exist in spaces because what they don't see is that when Black women show up, we're not just showing up as one. We not only influence other Black women, we influence Black people in general. We influence the neighborhoods in which we live, which are multicultural, and any place else that we show up. So I think, and you mentioned Win with Black Women, and I encourage you to follow that hashtag because amazing work happens. I take absolutely no credit for any of it, except to say that it's more than 4,000 women who voluntarily affiliate in their individual capacities to spend some time making sure that we are educated and that we are empowering not only ourselves, but our entire networks. I talk about what we do within our span of control and sphere of influence, and this maximizes that to the hilt.
That's right. So, Nicole, I'm coming to you. Brother, let me just start with the quote first. So, Brother Cornel West says, "Love is a form of death, and that there can be no Black love of self without the attempt to promote the death of white supremacy inside Black people." The reason why I want to start with that is that fundamentally the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation and Institute and PAC probably to me in so many ways represent the highest form of Black self-love, because it is about both our own desire to represent and care for the communities from which we come, and also constantly being the conscience of the Congress, right? Over and over again. And we see our sacrifice and our work. We have some of the highest numbers ever, members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and you are in charge of running the foundation, which has been so critical for leaders like myself coming through, Melanie coming through, Holly coming through. We've all spent time at the CBCF, in or around or working adjacent. And you are in charge of leading us forward. What is it like taking that mantle of leadership right now?
Well, first of all, Michelle, let me just claim the privilege that I have to be in this room with these sisters on stage and with so many of you here today. I pinch myself. This is a dream, just being here together. And I see so many of my friends out here in the audience. And Michelle knows this. As she said, we've known each other for a long time. And I was even saying to myself, the 2 panels before, I was like, I could have been up there with my sisters Fatima and Maya, because we've all been doing this work. I've been a civil and human rights lawyer and advocate and policy person for my entire career. And I tell people unabashedly that being at the CBCF is a dream come true for me, because since the age of 13, when my 8th grade English teacher, Miss John, said, "You have a big mouth, use it for good," I knew that the way in which I wanted to use that was to serve Black people. Period. And so to be at the CBCF, where our mission is to empower the global Black community, that is where I am supposed to be at this moment. So when you say, how do I feel? I feel like I am where I am supposed to be at this challenging moment. And for me, what we do is very simple. We provide opportunities where opportunities didn't previously exist. I have people in the movement who I've said to them over the years, if we could create an opportunity for young Black students to come to Washington and to be in internships, those internships that we know open doors, and those internships that we know that but for privilege, so many of us would never have those opportunities. I always knew that was a way to level the playing field. And I had a friend literally just this morning from the Ford Foundation say, "You remember you used to say that years ago? Well, there you are. There you are at the foundation." And that's what we do. We are leveling the playing field. So I know that I have an amazing charge in front of me, Michelle, because without creating opportunity and equity, we cannot compete. We cannot be in the rooms where we are supposed to be. We cannot be in the places where we need to be to lift our voices and to be heard. And that's what the foundation does. We make sure that we give voice to generations of leaders who might otherwise never have those opportunities. And that is what we are here to do. And that is how we will be a part of helping to shore up and strengthen this democracy, by creating that next generation of leaders.
Let them know. If anybody knows Miss Johnson, tell her Nicole is killing it, okay? All right. So, Melanie, I'm going to turn to you. I have so many fond and painful memories of working on the Hill. And I think for many of our friends in the audience today, they may not realize how important your team is to move forward, to have legislative success. Many of the women that you heard from on the stage today were former congressional staffers. There's many of them in the room. If you're a former congressional staffer or state legislator staffer, raise your hand. Okay. Go hug them, because they all need hugs, okay? Because there's so much work that has to be done that you, in many ways, are blocking and tackling for the member. And you've known Congresswoman Nikema Williams, who, y'all, is in the seat of the late, great John Lewis. So talking about stepping into the footsteps of giants, she is representing one of the most important districts that some people are now saying is a swing district. And you are her chief of staff. You met her doing Young Dems of Georgia. You've been doing this work for a long time. You were a CBC intern. Tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like behind the scenes, working in Congress, and helping to support Congresswoman Williams.
Whew. Well, you said it right there. Our job is to be a fence at the end of the day, and I cannot be that fence, that barrier, that protective shield that she needs without a team. I am blessed to have not just a phenomenal team, but a team that reflects who we are and who we serve. We have our communications director here with us today, an African-American woman, and we know that we're not just there to represent the 5th Congressional District, but we're representing Black women in Congress. And so it's important every day that we show up. So what we like to say in the office, this is the Congresswoman, is stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And I learned when I met her 16, 17 years ago now, how important that really was for the progress that I've been able to have in my career. But when we talk about the team, we have a team that knows that we absolutely have to stay ready because we don't get the same forgiveness, the same grace that others may get because we are operating in a system that was not designed for us or by people who look like us. So we have to be prepared to be that shield, to be that fence, so she can continue to do the good work to move the needle for the people that we represent. We're serving in the 5th Congressional District, y'all. And when we tell people that we are not just here to carry on the legacy of Congressman John Lewis, but to do more, it is because we have stayed ready that we are able to continue to do that work.
Stay ready. Stay ready. So I want to pose this question to each of you, and we'll start with Holly. You know, the last few years have been exciting for Black women's political leadership. I am the mom of 3 little girls. And for Halloween, my oldest dressed up like Kamala Harris. And there's a good girlfriend, Etta Coleman, who you met earlier. One of our good friends, Kim Tignor, organized Black women's kind of campaign, and we dressed up all of our little girls as Supreme Court justices. So my little girl has been Ketanji Brown Jackson and Kamala Harris. So we're doing something right. And it's so normal for her. She was like, I might be vice president. I might be a Supreme Court justice. I love it. I'm like, yes, you can do all of that, but go clean that room. Thank you. So it's been an exciting time, and yet we're still hitting some barriers, right? We've talked about today, no governors. Right now, I spent almost a decade in the Senate. No Black women's leadership in the Senate. We have a lot of exciting races, but we know that there is something about breaking that barrier on a national level, on a statewide level, that continues to be a challenge. I'd like you to talk to us. We understand the challenge, but what is the opportunity for us to break through? Because today is about Black women leading the change. So where do you see the opportunities for us to break through, and what will it take? And I'd like each of you to address that.
It would be too cheesy to say everywhere, but that's actually the truth. I was part of a big collective. Many of you, all of you actually in this room were part of it in terms of pushing the narrative around Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. And one of the things that we realized very early on that it was important to do was we needed to make sure that Black women in their local environments, in the states, in their cities, in their municipalities, saw themselves as a part of this work. And so what we did was we convened virtual spaces for more than 20 states that were Black women just from that state, so they could feel connected to this national work. And we did that with Higher Heights and She Will Rise, who you mentioned in terms of the photos, and many of the organizations that you knew. And ultimately, what that showed us and proved, because now we have a Supreme Court justice, y'all, is that when we play the role of connector, which we're already good at, that expands our power. What we leaned into away from, part of the lesson that we learn in living in a society that has so much structural racism is that power is a scarcity. But when we move away from a racist construct, what we recognize and realize is that power is abundant. And power grows when we work together. When I share my power with these beautiful ladies on the stage and with all of you, my power is not diminished. It just gets bigger, better, and brighter. And that's really what I say each of us has the power to do. And that's what we try to, and that's what we're learning, and that's what we're realizing. And so when you think about the victories like Kamala Harris, like Ketanji, like these women who are now running, and by the way, there are hundreds of them running, it's not just because they had the leadership to step up and say, it's my time. It's because of all of the women in the room right now, and all of the women that you represent, and all of the networks that they touch, and all of the people who may not even recognize that they're doing this. That is where the power is. And what we do as Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote is we say, wherever you are, Black woman, wherever you are, what are you doing political? Do the next thing. And when you do the next thing, I promise you, we get all of this stuff. So that's where we're at.
I like to really look at it like as there are abundant opportunities out there, and sometimes we just miss them because you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. So if you haven't been to your community board meeting, if you don't know what's going on in your precinct, do you even know what precinct you live in? There are so many opportunities for you to learn and serve that can help you get to the next level of serving, that I want you to lean in and say, I'm going to volunteer to do that. I am going to join this board. I'm going to find out what the heck a precinct captain is, because maybe just maybe I am needed to go knock on a door and find out how do we get these voters out. There are so many opportunities that we don't know about, and they don't have to necessarily be in a formal space. You can join, honestly, you can join your block association and learn about advocacy from that respect. Have you run for office in your local organization or your chapter of your sorority or sorority? Thinking about the different ways that you can learn to serve people does one of two things. One, you learn what you don't know about being a leader. But two, you're making the friends before you need them. Because let me tell you something. When you move forward in this space, you're going to need every single friend that you have, because this work is hard, but this work is manageable when you have a collective of people who are doing the work with you. So find those opportunities, learn what you don't know, and make those friends before you need them.
I feel like I should have a notebook up here taking notes. You know, I had another teacher who said, what you don't know, Nicole, could fill an ocean. And it's true. I don't care how old you get. What you don't know could fill an ocean. I want to just tell you, take a point of privilege, Michelle, and just tell you that we did a Blacks in Wax event at my granddaughter's elementary school when she was in elementary school, and she was Diane Nash. So, yeah, my civil rights shero. You know, I want to broaden this out just a little bit and take it back to your example when you talked about Halloween, which is when we talk about preparing people for leadership, it's not just about political leadership, it's leadership, period. And it really has to start in the infancy part of a woman's development. One of the reasons why I had a big mouth and didn't know how to shut it up is because nobody told me that I had to. Nobody told me that I couldn't be anything that I wanted to be. My mother, when I was in college, when I was getting into all kinds of good trouble, and she used to call me and say, Nikki, please don't get arrested this week because I do not have money to come to get you out of jail. But I didn't have anyone who ever told me there were barriers in my way. And look, y'all, I grew up in public housing. So there were all these people on the outside who used to tell kids like me that we couldn't, but the people inside my community told us we could be anything. And I became a lawyer. Eric across the street became a doctor. The other Nicole up the street got an MBA, and she's now in corporate America. So when we think about leadership and developing leadership, it has to start in the beginning. We have to make sure that within our communities, we are telling young people about opportunities. We are telling them about leadership contests. That's what people used to do for me. I was in all kinds of leadership competitions and sometimes I was the only little black child there, but it didn't matter because I knew I was getting opportunities and I was getting exposure to things. So that's what we have to start doing. We have to start thinking long before we get to the point when we're old enough to run for political office. We have to think about, how do you instill confidence in young women that they can be and do anything, and that they can lead, and help them more than anything to get rid of self-doubt, because we doubt ourselves all the time. And we have to teach our young women that there is nothing they can't do, and to never doubt themselves. And that has to start from the beginning, so that by the time they get to college and they're ready to run for student council president and all that, there's nothing anybody can tell them. That's what we have to do.
Yes. Okay, I told you, AME kid, preach, Nicole, preach. All right,
I'm
so
AME too.
Yeah, there we go. So we are at the end of our time. It goes so fast up here. So I want to ask everybody in the audience to do one thing for me. Take out your phones and turn to your camera, and then I want you to turn on your video. And I want you to put the camera facing yourself. You can take a picture of us too, because we're real cute. But right now, I want you to focus on yourself and turn on your video. And I want you to tell yourself, I am the one who I have been waiting for. So much of leadership is affirming that you are ready for the moment. And each of you, by stepping into this room today, are ready for the moment. We honor you. We appreciate you. I love you women on this stage. Thank you. Mother Angela Davis says, our goal is to recreate hope generation after generation. All of the work you do every day is exactly that. I love and appreciate you. Thank you, y'all.